Assalamu alaikum. I want you to check out this video with me.
I mean, they're there because they have no alternative. What do they have? It is a big pile of rubble right now. I mean, have you seen the pictures of it? Have you been there? It's terrible to live. Who can live like that? I think they should get a good, fresh, beautiful piece of land, and we get some people to put up the money to build it and make it nice and make it habitable and enjoyable and
Somewhere else.
make
They
it a
say they don't
home.
want to leave, though. Palestinians say they don't want to leave.
I don't know how they could want to stay. It's a demolition site. It's a pure demolition site. If we could find the right piece of land or numerous pieces of land and build them some really nice places with plenty of money in the area, that's for sure. I think that would be a lot better than going back to, well, they
those
could
Arab
be in
countries
Jordan
don't want
and they
to
could
go.
be in Egypt and they could be in other places. You could have more than two, more than one, but you could have more than two. And you'd have people living in a place that could be very beautiful and safe and nice.
I am recording this because I want to help you understand what Trump really meant by these words. Because this is not the first time in history we hear the exact same statements. Yes, it's not the first time. Remember these islands? They were called Chagos Islands, and among them there was this specific beautiful island called Diego Garcia. After the Second World War, the US was building military bases all over the world because, why not? And when they saw this Diego Garcia, they were like, that's so delicious. I want it for myself. And of course, this island was colonized by the British because, again, why not? So the US was like, hey, Britain, how about I give you the Polaris ballistic missiles you always wanted? And in return, you find a way to get rid of those indigenous people who are living in this island and then give it to me. Britain was like, hell yeah, ballistic missiles for free? And all we have to do is to get rid of some indigenous people? We have a deal. But the US said, don't forget the most important part of the deal. All inhabitants absolutely must go or the deal will be off. Then Britain said, don't worry. There will be no indigenous population except seagulls. And they shook hands on it. The island was originally inhabited by some peaceful tribes who worked in farming coconuts. Very simple people who actually never saw anything in the whole world outside of their small island. What happened is, the British first came to those people and said, guys, do you know that your grandfathers are not originally from here? Come with us. We will take you back to where your ancestors were originally from. And we prepared for you there a paradise on earth. We will give you beautiful homes, a lot of money, and everything you dream of. Just leave this island and all your wishes will come true. Let us take you to the Mauritius Islands or to the Seychelles. You will find there the dream life. The indigenous people looked the British in the eyes and said, absolutely not. We don't want to leave our land. We don't like your deal. This was when the British said, you know what? It's not working. Let's just do it the Western way, the way we always know how to do it. They started killing them, destroying their infrastructure, destroying their farmland, and destroying their schools. They even started burying their water wells so people wouldn't have access to drinking water anymore. They were trying to turn the island into an unlivable land. Because this way they will have no choice but to take the deal and to get out of there. But after all of that, the indigenous people still said, we don't want to leave our land. This is where we lived all our lives, and this is where our fathers lived. This land is everything to us. It's all that we know and all what we have. This land is our memories, our culture, our loved ones, and our lives. Even though it is unlivable anymore thanks to you, even if it doesn't have any infrastructure, we still want to live here. Leave us alone and go back to where you came from. And this was, unfortunately, their last words. Because after that, there were 30 ships with British and US flags surrounding the island, enforcing a military siege on those innocent people. They used hunger as a weapon to force them to take the deal and get out of there. Whoever spoke out against them was killed. Some of them had their tongue cut, and some were burned alive, and some were drowned in the ocean. They kept doing that again and again and again until finally the indigenous people gave up. They surrendered. The remaining, who were still alive at that time, took the deal. Remember the deal? We will ship you to this other place that is amazing, and you will have a lot of beautiful houses and a lot of money and an amazing life. All of that in exchange for leaving this land. They were forced to say goodbye to the land of their ancestors and boarded the ships. The last one of them left this island on the 26th of May of 1973. And this was when they got their final shock. Turns out that all of those promises of paradise on earth and blah blah blah, they were lies. The moment they boarded the ships out of their homeland, they were immediately treated as slaves, and whoever spoke out was thrown from the ship to drown in the ocean. Some of them were shipped to Mauritius, some of them were shipped to Seychelles, and some of them were shipped to Britain. But the catch is, when they arrived there, they didn't find any of the luxurious life they were promised. On the contrary, they found themselves homeless in the streets of these new countries, without even having the proper paperwork to start a new life. They gave up their land by force, and in return, they were thrown away like garbage.
I recall that quite clearly. One room like this one, tiny room, all of us in that room.
What happened to us? It's more purely like slavery. The way of approaching people, force people to leave the country. What we as Sagosian are asking, we are asking to be able to return to our birthplace, which is not a crime. And we condemn what had been done to us, which we consider as a crime against humanity.
I was born on Diego Gracia. You can't offer the US government my place of birth without my consent. That's not fair. You can't offer the US government my place of birth without my consent. That's not fair.
I know it is a really sad story. Today, the International Court of Justice and the Human Rights Watch and every human on this planet recognizes their right to return to their land. But, as usual, the US doesn't really care. Please remember that history just repeats itself. I will say it again. History just repeats itself over and over and over. And now you are ready to listen to what Trump had to say and to read between the lines and to really understand what he's trying to achieve.
I mean, they're there because they have no alternative. What do they have? It is a big pile of rubble right now. I mean, have you seen the pictures of it? Have you been there? It's terrible to live. Who can live like that? I think they should get a good, fresh, beautiful piece of land, and we get some people to put up the money to build it and make it nice and make it habitable and enjoyable and make it a home.
They don't want to leave, though. Palestinians say they don't want to leave.
I don't know how they could want to stay. It's a demolition site. It's a pure demolition site. If we could find the right piece of land or numerous pieces of land and build them some really nice places, with plenty of money in the area, that's for sure. I think that would be a lot better than going back to, well, they could be in Jordan, and they could be in Egypt, and they could be in other places. You could have more than two, more than one, but you could have more than two. And you'd have people living in a place that could be very beautiful and safe and nice.
He's saying, I can't imagine that they want to go back and live in the rubble. He's saying, I think they want to leave. He can't wrap his head around people wanting to live in a land that he destroyed. He can't understand that those people love their land even though they destroyed everything that makes it livable. Well, let's see if his theory is true or not. These are the people who are happily walking back to their destroyed homes, feeling pride and feeling hope.
شدوا بعضكم يا راسطين شدوا بعضكم ما ودعتكم راحت فلسطين ما ودعت رجعنا الحمد لله على غزة رجعنا على ديارنا نشكر الله احنا فرحانين الحمد لله كل الدنيا يما رجعنا دارنا وبلدنا ومخيمنا الحمد لله الشكر لله يما الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمد الله يا رب الشكر لله
اصحى وشد الحيل
ايوه
واركب عشان قلبك لو رفض ما
Can you see the happiness in their eyes? Can you see the pride in their eyes? What? You don't see the pride? How about we take a look up close? See this sister? Without saying a single word, she is declaring to everyone, I own this land. If you can't see the pride in her eyes, then you are blind. Also, check out this sister. She doesn't seem very sad. Looks like she's happily turning the remains of her destroyed house into a beautiful place. I'm sure her new house will be even more beautiful. You know what? Let's just watch some of them together and you judge yourself.
ابتسم للناس وارسم بالامل وجه الحياة وانسى همك دام ربك يسمع كلام دعيت ما يدوم الحال مهما طال يا بنادم مداه كل شيء وله نهاية دام كل به بديت ابتسم للناس وارسم بالامل وجه الحياة وانسى همك دام ربك يسمع كلام دعيت ما يدوم الحال مهما طال يا بنادم مداه كل شيء وله نهاية دام كل به بديت انهي الحزن وتعلم كيف تتعامل معاه ابتلائك من محبة ولا يعني ما دريت عانق احلامك بكلمة الله يسمع من رجاه قومي يلا قولي يلا هذا انا جيت ورجيت عانق احلامك بكلمة الله يسمع من رجاه قومي يلا قولي يلا هذا انا جيت ورجيت
Come with me to see my home after 15 months of displacement. This is my home. Speechless, I can't express. Where's my room? Where's my dining room? Where's my living room? What's this? I feel like I can't breathe. Please help us to rebuild our home. Together we can do it. All I need just to live like any person in the world.
هؤلاء اطرابهم ما فيش في حد مش بإيدك. لا مصر ولا الأردن. اطرابنا وبس. لا مصر ولا الأردن. اطرابنا وبس.
To be indigenous means to be part of the land, part of its ecosystem, its tending, its caretaking. It's a responsibility and connection and inherited knowledge that you can't know in a lifetime. So when you remove people from their land and drop them somewhere foreign to them, you have severed the continuity of this ancient knowledge.
And our elders have told us that our job is to remember.
Unfortunately, some of it gets lost forever. But the wound this removal leaves, and the need to keep the connection alive, will always remain.
Shinasha means I am still here.
هاي رسالة من ستي اللي مواليد 1922 لترامب اللي بده يهجرنا. ما غصب عنك يا ستي بدهم يطلعونا.
ريت روحها تطلع. احنا ثابتين في الأرض زي الزيتون.
There is a lot that I want to say to you about this. But you know what? Instead of that, I will ask you to listen to a couple of verses from the Quran with me. The verses will explain it much better than me. Salam alaikum.
وإذ أخذنا ميثاق بني إسرائيل لا تعبدون إلا الله وبالوالدين إحسانا وذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وقولوا للناس حسنا وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة ثم توليتم إلا قليلا منكم وأنتم معرضون وإذ أخذنا ميثاقكم لا تسفكون دماءكم ولا تخرجون أنفسكم من دياركم ثم أقررتم وأنتم تشهدون ثم أنتم هؤلاء تقتلون أنفسكم وتخرجون فريقا منكم من دياركم تظاهرون عليهم بالإثم والعدوان وإن يأتوكم أسارى تفادوهم وهو محرم عليكم إخراجهم أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم إلا خزي في الحياة الدنيا ويوم القيامة يردون إلى أشد العذاب وما الله بغافل عما تعملون أولئك الذين اشتروا الحياة الدنيا بالآخرة فلا يخفف عنهم العذاب ولا هم ينصرون